Welcome to a busted play. An illegal use of hands to the face short.
Today I want to discuss the Jimmy Garoppolo Trey Lance situation and why I believe that Jimmy Garoppolo staying the quarterback for the time being is the right move for the 49ers and why you can't say that it's the wrong move. Okay? So first off, what do you disagree with me or do you agree with me on this perspective?
Well, I think you should flesh out your perspective first, so I just don't go off the rails explaining my stance.
Okay. Well, I would just like to say that whenever Jimmy Garoppolo is in the game, he is not playing at like an extremely poor level. He's playing usually above average when he is in the game. The issue that we have had with him is that he gets hurt. The only other issue we can point to in his game is one missed throw in the Super Bowl. Besides that, he is extremely effective whenever he is in the game. The issue is injuries. The argument that Trey Lance needs to get in now since you spent a high pick on him, the only reason that is even thought about is because of the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt. If Jimmy Garoppolo didn't get hurt, we would not even be having this conversation about the quarterback situation changing for the 49ers. If Garoppolo plays at a high level throughout the rest of his contract and doesn't get injured, then it was worth the first round pick because somehow that made him stay healthy, which he hasn't been able to do his entire career. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. And if we're just going based off how it's went recently, he's more than likely going to get hurt again. And Trey Lance will probably end up on the field at some point this season without them even needing to force it. Like, it'll just happen just because of the general fragility of Jimmy Garoppolo. And I don't think that they need to really think deeply about this because I think the chances are, just based off what we've seen in the past, that Trey Lance will either end up on the field because Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt, or they will be a really successful team because Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't get hurt. And I don't think putting Trey Lance on the field this season specifically makes them a significantly better football team. Maybe 3 years down the road, but this season, I don't think so.
Okay. I agree with you with what you think about this, and here's like my thinking of it. Jimmy G has 2 years left on his contract, I believe. He's got 2021, 2022. If he can stay healthy for the next 2 years and there's no injuries, by the time he is done with that contract, Trey Lance will be 23. He will be Joe Burrow's rookie season age.
Actually,
at that
I
point.
think he's a year younger then. Because I think Burrow was 24 last season. That may be wrong, but
he's either way, he's going to be 23 that season.
Not going to be older than Burrow was.
Yeah, he's going to be 23 that season. Jimmy G, even if he stays healthy for the next 2 years, it doesn't get hurt, I think it would be kind of dumb for the 49ers to re-sign him after that because they have Trey Lance there. But if he can be healthy for the next 2 years, completely let him ride it out. And with the complexity of Shanahan's system, I mean, if you want Trey Lance to sit for 2 years to have him really grasp the complexity while you're also adding more stuff in there too, because Trey Lance is a heck of an athlete, so they're probably going to add more stuff in. I don't have any problem with them keeping Jimmy G in there, keeping him as the starter for the next 2 years if he could stay healthy. But like you said, more likely than not, especially with how his injuries have been racking up over the past couple seasons,
he'll get in there without even trying to.
Trey Lance will get in there without even trying. And if that's I think one injury and Trey Lance gets in, you have to move on from Jimmy G at that point because it's like, yeah, dude, you can't stay healthy and there's nothing we can do about that.
Yeah. You know what this also lends this conversation also lends itself towards that we didn't mention so far?
What?
The fact that they may this weird conversation that I'm kind of just like wrapping my head around now with all this is the fact that when they traded up, and I talked to you about this with our mock drafts and how they lined up. At some point, it was like we just knew, like right before the draft, like it felt like right after I finished doing my mock draft where we finished the recording for it, and then for like 5 days, 6, maybe even 7 days before the draft started, it just felt like we knew that it was not going to be anyone besides Trey Lance at pick number 3. But it seemed like when the trade actually happened, the chatter was that it was for Mac Jones. And I guess the thing that I'm thinking here is that I would actually, myself at least, would be willing to make the argument that putting Mac Jones in, because one of the strengths I talked about with him and a reason I like him so much is just because of his pinpoint accuracy, how precise he seemingly always is with the ball. I could see the argument for him coming to town and immediately should get the starting job. What they do by taking Trey Lance, a quarterback who arguably has more upside based on just the fact that he has any mobile ability at all, by taking him instead of Mac Jones, who I thought it was initially when they made the trade, it makes it so that you don't feel as forced to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo. And that's another piece to it that didn't really touch on before that I just kind of thought about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Taking Trey Lance definitely feels like the Niners not bought themselves more time, but maybe with ownership and the fans, they bought themselves more time. Because if you draft a Mac Jones or a Justin Fields there, even if Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't get hurt, if he just messes up a game, has one bad game, you're going to have fans immediately call fans and maybe even the owner wanting the rookie that you spent a bunch of capital to move up and get in the game. But with Trey Lance, you can fall back on he's very raw, doesn't know our playbook that well. Ran a very limited system at a
North Dakota State.
Yeah, I know the school. I was trying to think of what's it called?
NCAA, FCS or
yeah. At an FCS school, yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. You can fall back on that and keep buying yourself more time. But I think we both agree that it's going to be very tough for Jimmy G to stay healthy. But if that does happen, he should remain the starter. Throughout his contract, if he stays healthy through the whole thing.
Even if he remains the starter, are we really about to complain if this team if the team goes to the Super Bowl again and loses? Are we really going to be like, well, they made it this far, but it was exclusively the quarterback's fault in the Super Bowl. The quarterback wasn't the reason they won any games before that, because they lost a ton of games the previous year when he got hurt and the other quarterbacks had to play. But this year he's not the reason they won, even though last year they lost a ton of games without him. It's really a weird conversation to have. The reason I wanted to have this conversation is because Florio and Sims had it, and both of them said that it's ridiculous to keep Jimmy Garoppolo in basically for any extended period of time at all. And the one last thing I'll add here is that I would say I kind of agree with your one statement you threw kind of in the middle there about how you draft Trey Lance. You can definitely keep Jimmy G in for the time being. I would say that actually the only two quarterbacks that would really force your hand in moving on from Jimmy G were Lawrence and Mac Jones. I feel like Wilson, Fields, and Lance, you can still put them all on the bench for the time being.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I could see that. I don't know. I'm really, really big on Fields, so...
I am too. Fields was number 2 for me, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know how quarterback evaluation is so strange. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just glad to hear that you're on the same page with me, because I couldn't understand Florio and Sim's perspective there. I just really wanted to disagree, and they were just like, nope, we agree.
Yeah, it just that just seems something like, well, we just need something new. You know, we just need fresh blood. And it's, dude, the last healthy season Jimmy G had got you to a Super Bowl. You lost
I
in the
mean,
Super Bowl, but he got you to a Super Bowl. And
not
like you
even
said, if he gets them back to the Super Bowl again and they lose again, how can you say like, oh, well, it's entirely on this guy, so you know what? We're just gonna put in this young, inexperienced guy now, since Jimmy G got us to the Super Bowl and we can't win it. So let's see if Trey Lance could just lead us there again next season.
we have never had a rookie quarterback lead a team to a Super Bowl victory. Second year quarterbacks, yes, not first year quarterbacks. And I have a very tough time. I have a tough time even believing that the 49ers in year one with Trey Lance would be a better team by the end of the season if Trey Lance was the starting quarterback instead of Jimmy Garoppolo. I believe that even by the end of the season, even by 17 regular season games, and however many extended postseason games they go through, I believe that they would be a better football team with Jimmy Garoppolo at the helm the whole way. And the only way that should change is if it's forced change through injury, which has become far too common for that player.
Yeah, and just backup QB situation for the Niners has been atrocious the past couple
entire
years, because
time.
when Jimmy G gets hurt, they're immediately out of it, because it's, oh, Nick Mullins going to do anything? Trey Lance gives you a chance to do something and still make the playoffs possibly.
That's the key.
If
You
Jimmy
can
G
still
goes
win
down.
games if you have to bring your second string in. And I
Yes.
feel like it was worth it for them.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that closes up shop for this. You all set?
Yeah, we can cut this here.